My take in a nutshell, the IPVanish software is in need of a redesign, but it works extremely well. It has some great add-ons, and they have some of the best customer support in the industry. Hey there, thanks again for joining me here at All Things Secured. My name's Josh, and today we're doing a comprehensive review of IPVanish, which is a virtual private network that's been around since 2012. I'm going to start by giving you a look at the IPVanish Desktop and Mobile App so that you can get a feel for how they work. We're next going to transition into the different features that IPVanish offers, including those that are unique to the IPVanish service. And then finally, we're going to talk about who runs IPVanish and why that should or maybe shouldn't matter to you. Now to start, we're going to walk over to my computer and take a look at the Desktop app. When you first open the IPVanish software on your desktop, this is what you're going to be met with. It looks a little more complicated than I think it really needs to be, but the basics are that you've got your connection button here on the top right, as well as one here on the bottom right. The ability to choose which country you want to connect to, which city within that country, or the best available, and then even which specific server in that city you want to connect to, or again, the best available. And one of the things I like about this software is that it does give you the option to choose the best, fastest server in that specific city or in that country, so that you don't have to fish for whichever one has the lowest load or is the fastest at that moment. Now, when you do connect to that server, let's say I wanted to connect to Seattle, what's going to happen is once that connection's made, you're going to notice there's a visual that happens here. You're going to see the time connected, the protocol, the server, and then the data up and data down. Honestly, these are the only numbers that I really care about. This whole data visualization part, to me, it just seems unnecessary. I don't understand what this even means or why I should care about it, and I wish it wasn't there. That is my only complaint about this software, is just that design element seems completely unnecessary. So when I'm disconnecting from this, and the reason I'm doing that is so that you can see a couple of the other features that aren't available whenever you're connected to a server. But let's say I want to look at the different server lists that are available. I can do that and sort by either the city, country, or servers, and I can favorite those servers, which is great. I can choose a map and physically look at the map, even though I don't think this one is nearly as good as the one on NordVPN. And then you can filter based on their speed or latency, and then exactly which region they're in. And again, you can star and favorite those servers that you really like. I end up just never really going on this servers tab, honestly. I just generally choose the country that I want or the city that I want and connect from there. Now, if you're looking at the preferences, what you have is the ability to choose when or how it starts up, whether you connect immediately to a server, whether you launch it, log in, hide the IPVanish on startup, or even hide it from the dock. Within the connections, you have a choice of protocols here, which I think is great. That's what you should have. You can choose to have a kill switch on or off, which means, well, if you've got a question about that, you can see my video on kill switches. And then scramble here, which is basically an obfuscated server, which means that's a technology used to make your VPN connection seem like it's normal traffic. If you have a problem with certain websites or certain ISPs that will take and block VPN traffic, using this scramble will make it seem like your VPN traffic is normal traffic. You always want to have this IPv6 leak protection on. You've got an IP settings which you can configure to a third-party DNS. I mean, this is an advanced setting that I don't even really care to use. This diagnostics tab is interesting to me because what happens is that most VPNs actually keep this diagnostic stuff, this diagnostic data, on their own servers, despite the fact that they are a zero-log policy. The way that IPVanish gets around this, which I like, is that they actually store it locally on your computer, so that if you need to talk to customer support and they need to see exactly what's happening with your connection, you can literally just archive this file and send it to them, and then they can look at it, but they don't have it on their servers. It's stored locally, and that's something that I like. So that's a general initial look at the desktop software for IPVanish. So that's the desktop experience, but as you'll see on my iPad, the mobile app experience is not that much different. So as you would expect, the design looks very similar to that of the desktop. You've got the connect button on the bottom right. I can choose a country here on the right, or I can choose a specific city within each individual country, or I can even go down and choose a specific server in every city. Although I don't really know why you'd want to do that. Usually choosing the best available within a country is going to find you the fastest server with the least amount of load. And of course, you've got all the data here on the left side, including your IP, the server that you're connecting to, and your location location and time connected. And as I mentioned already, but I don't want to just shoot a dead horse too much, we've got this visualization of my upload and download speeds, which I just don't really understand why that's there. In the upper left-hand corner, I can go in and really look in detailed at what servers are available. I can choose specific servers, favorite them if I want to, or I can filter based on city, country, or speed. I don't know why I would use that too much because I've got everything that I need here on the bottom right. And finally, if we look at the settings, as with most apps, VPN apps, there's not a whole lot of settings. You can turn, you can connect automatically to IPVanish if you wanted to. You can change to 2 different protocols. There isn't an open VPN option here for iOS, but it's different for Android. You can have an alternative connection mode. So what that means is that if you have a hard time connecting to the IKEV2 in a country like, say, China, where there's a lot of just, they don't allow for VPN connections very easily, you could turn that on, and then that would do an alternative connection that would hopefully be able to connect easier. And then, of course, you can view your diagnostics if you were to have to speak with IPVanish support. That's really all there is to it. There's not that much. Normally, I wouldn't even have this open. I would just connect and then close the app and then go about doing my normal business. So as you just saw, the software works great, but there are some design features that I think are a little dated and frankly unnecessary. But thankfully there are a few behind the scenes features we're going to walk through right now that make up for that. Now, as with any VPN that I review here on All Things Secured, I'm not going to make a big deal out of the standard features that you should find in every single virtual private network service out there. So the very fact that IPVanish offers things like 256-bit encryption, 1,400 servers spread across 50 countries, a VPN kill switch, a zero-log policy, standalone apps for all the major platforms, these are things that should be expected with any VPN. In my experience, the IPVanish server speeds have been great, but I generally don't include speed comparisons with my VPN reviews just because there are so many different variables when it comes to your connection to the internet, even before it reaches the VPN server. But in either case, it's good to know that IPVanish does offer the standard 30-day money-back guarantee, so that if you do try them and you decide that their speeds aren't great or you don't like their software or anything, you should be able to get your money back within 30 days. Now let's move into features that make IPVanish unique from the competition. The ones that I've found include simultaneous connections. The industry average is between 4 and 6, but IPVanish offers you 10 simultaneous connections, which means 10 different devices on the same account connecting to one of the IPVanish servers at the same time. They also have great customer support. That includes email support, live chat support, and even phone support. And that's something I've seen nowhere else in the VPN industry, is the ability to call up somebody and ask questions about setup or ask questions about your account and get a live person on the phone. One free add-on that you'll get with IPVanish, at least at the time that I'm recording this video right now, is a free SugarSync account, which is very similar to Dropbox in that it's a cloud storage platform. Except Dropbox only gives you 1 gigabyte of free space, whereas the SugarSync account will give you 250 gigabytes of cloud storage space. And finally, they offer a relatively transparent ownership model, at least for a VPN. These are the unique features that I've discovered with IPVanish, but I want to take a moment to hone in on that last one. Who is it that really owns IPVanish? Well, first things first, IPVanish is owned by NetProtect, which is a company that owns a number of other VPN properties, including StrongVPN, SaferVPN, and Encrypt.me. This is an ownership strategy that's becoming increasingly popular as companies buy up these VPN brands, since it's such a growing segment of the technology market. What makes IPVanish and NetProtect interesting is that in 2019 they were acquired by J2 Global, a publicly traded technology company based in the US. Now, this kind of US-based ownership for a VPN can be considered both good or bad. So let's start by looking at the bad. You see, most tech reviewers are quick to point out whether a VPN is located in a country that's part of an intelligence sharing alliance. You might have heard of these before. It's the 5 Eyes, the 9 Eyes, the 14 Eyes, referring to the number of countries that share intelligence together. Technically, if a VPN claims to be a zero-log VPN, and they all claim to be zero-log VPNs, then it shouldn't matter where they're located, right? But as I've said many times before, you should take these claims with a grain of salt. Everybody logs at least something. So if you don't trust your VPN and you're worried because you're using a VPN for illegal purposes, which I don't condone, or to protect extremely sensitive data, then maybe it matters where your VPN is located. But consider this, the same companies that locate themselves in the British Virgin Islands or in Switzerland are also extremely coy about who owns and runs those companies. So it's a catch-22 because now you're entrusting your most sensitive data to an unknown entity. That's part of why I'm fine with this idea that IPVanish is located in the US. Because J2 Global is a publicly traded technology company, I can be reasonably confident in my data security knowing that any breach whatsoever would have extreme adverse effects on their revenues. In this case, being based in the US is not a liability in my opinion. The fact that they have to be transparent about their corporate governance, disclose their financials, and comply with very strict laws and regulations allows us as consumers to make a more informed decision, and that's something I can't say for many other VPNs. Oh, one more thing. You know what else J2 Global owns? They also own the online websites PC Mag and Mashable, among many others, but these are two that have editorials on the best VPN. Now, because they are based in the US, they have to disclose the relationship between them and the VPN, and they do that. But before you cry foul, consider that the VPNs located outside of the US don't have to do this, and they don't. And you better believe in this cutthroat VPN industry that they are buying up VPN review websites, or they're creating their own, and they're putting their service at the top as the #1 recommendation. And this is one of the many reasons I think the whole VPN review industry is corrupt and extremely shady. And yes, I recognize the irony of me saying that while giving a VPN review. But I wasn't paid to give this review, and while my links are affiliate links, that's how I make money. And my hope is that by being honest and transparent with you, I can earn your trust. So what is my final verdict on IPVanish? They have all the standard features that I expect in a VPN, plus they offer a very generous 10 simultaneous connections, 250 gigabytes of free cloud storage through SugarSync, and they have one of the best customer support programs I've seen of any VPN service out there. I think the fact that they're based in the US and owned by a publicly traded company is a good thing. But I don't use VPNs for illegal purposes, so that's a decision that you're gonna have to make on your own. My only complaint is the software itself. Now, it works great, it's very user-friendly, but as I said earlier, it just feels like it needs a refresh. And maybe by the time you're watching this review, it already has been refreshed. We'll see. I hope this IPVanish review has been useful to you as you're making your decision. If so, give the video a thumbs up or use the affiliate links in the description. I welcome any questions in the comments, and I encourage you to subscribe to the All Things Secure YouTube channel, where I publish weekly videos about personal online security.